In today's video, we're going to go over everything you might want to know about Coral Pink Sand Dunes, which is a state park here in southern Utah. It is a beautiful place that you are definitely going to want to check out if you are living in southern Utah, thinking of moving to southern Utah, or maybe you're just passing through. You will want to stick around for this video. All right, let's get to it. If this is your first time to this channel, we talk about everything there is to know about living in Cedar City, Utah and the surrounding areas. My name is Elizabeth Prisbrey. I'm with Stratum Real Estate Group. If you are looking to buy, sell, or invest here in southern Utah, I would love it if you would reach out. You can find my information up here in the corner or down below in the description. All right, Coral Pink Sand Dunes is located in the southwest corner of the state of Utah. We will jump into a map in a second so you can see exactly where that is located. Then we will go over everything you might want to know about this state park. I have been going to Coral Pink for as long as I can remember. My family goes every year for a family reunion and we take up their whole campsite, or one of them. We'll jump in and you'll see what I mean by that. We spend our time barbecuing, sitting by the fire, riding in the sand dunes with side-by-sides, dirt bikes, four-wheelers, you name it, we're out there, we're on it. They even have sand surfing out there. You can go to a lookout or walk out onto the dunes and feel that coral pink sand underneath your toes. It really is an amazing place, probably my most favorite place to be in the world. And I know a lot of that is nostalgia, I'm sure, because I've been going there so long, but I am going to share it with you because I love it. If you are in southern Utah, it's definitely a place you are going to want to check out. All right, let's jump into the map. We'll talk about a few things there, show you what the area has to offer and what to expect when you go. All right, so we can see the state of Utah outlined here on Google Maps. I'll do the best I can in drawing with a mouse here, but I just want to make sure it's really clear to you. You can see Coral Pink Sand Dunes is right down here in the southwest corner of the state of Utah. If you'll notice here, we've got Cedar City just northwest and St. George southwest. Now, if we zoom in here, they are about the same distance apart. It might take maybe 15 minutes longer to get there from Cedar City, Utah, than it does to St. George, Utah. Now you can see here, if you are coming from Cedar City, there are going to be two ways. You can go south on the I-15 down to the Tokerville exit through Hurricane and then up the 59. You do cross into Arizona for a moment and then you'll take cane bed roads and that will take you through the back way into Coral Pink Sand Dunes. That's about an hour and a half. Of course, there is another route from Cedar City where you will go up through Duck Creek. It adds about 5 minutes on there. To be honest, if you are going to go from Cedar City, I prefer going down the 15, and that's just because I'm pulling a trailer with a lot of camping items in it and four-wheelers, so I want a more smooth shot versus going up the mountains and going through here. However, if you're looking for a more beautiful scenic drive, you'll definitely want to take this route through Duck Creek. Now, if you're coming from St. George, Utah, it's about 15 minutes faster, so it's going to take you about an hour and 15 minutes versus Cedar City. It really doesn't feel like that long. Their scenery is really pretty beautiful on either drive, so it doesn't feel like it's taking you that long. So with St. George, you're going to be heading north on the 15, and then you will take the exit for Hurricane. Again, you will take the 59 out of Hurricane down into Arizona for a little bit, then you'll take that Cane Beds Road over to Coral Pink Sand Dunes. All right, so I took it to our satellite view just because I want you to see how the campgrounds are set up here and what you can expect when you are coming in. Now this road here is the 43. This will take you over to Kanab, Utah, which you'll want to check out at some point as well. There is actually a huge cavern in there that they have turned into a visitor center. It used to be a saloon or a bar in this cave back in the days when John Wayne would come and film videos here, and they would use this as a dance hall because this cavern or cave was climate controlled. So now you can go in, you can actually walk in there, see some of the old memorabilia. It's just a really cool place to check out. There's a lot of archaeology in there that they've displayed. It's just kind of a cool piece of history not that far from Coral Pink Sand Dunes. That is down near Kanab, Utah, about 30 minutes from Coral Pink. So back to what I was talking about. This is the 43 here. You are going to see a Coral Pink sign here so that you know that you have gotten to Coral Pink. Then you will enter and you will come to a ranger station right here. That is where you are going to check in. There are going to be nightly fees as well as day use fees, and we'll go over that in a minute. There are two campgrounds here. If you head more southwest here, it's going to take you to the older campground. This is where my family has been staying forever, and we'll jump into it and I'll show you what I love about this area. However, in the last few years, they have added a newer campground, which is right here, a little bit closer to the ranger station. This one has some benefits as well. All right, so I have dropped into the ranger station just so that you can see here. There is no cell service out here in Coral Pink. However, you can go over to the ranger station and you can get a little bit of Wi-Fi here should you need to do any work or take any calls or help somebody find direction there. You can go over and get a little spot there where you can get service. I prefer to stay away just so that I have that time to decompress, but it is possible. Now let's take a look at the older campgrounds because this is truly Coral Pink to me, and I'll zoom out a little bit so that you can see it as we come down this road. Again, you're going to come in from the ranger station and you're going to head southwest. Now, as we continue down this road, you'll notice here we've got a little dirt area. This is where they've started setting up so that you can actually come over here and do side-by-side tours. So if you are coming and you don't have anything like that, you can stop in here and you can get in a side-by-side and take a tour of the sand dunes. Now, there are over 1,200 acres of just that sand dunes, but you'll notice that Coral Pink has a lot of trails, washes. You can also get up into the mountains and just see a beautiful scenery of the Apple Valley. You're really overlooking that and it's just stunning out there. If you've never seen anything like this, you'll want to come and check it out. Now, directly across from this area where you can do the ATV tours, this is more of a day use pull off here. You will see there are parking spots. There is a restroom here. The facilities are really pretty great. It is plumbed, flushable toilets. You can have a mirror, you can wash your hands. It really is such a nice facility. There is a picnic pavilion over here that you can check out. And then you'll notice, and let me zoom in a little bit more here so that you can see it. But right off of here, there is a little pathway up, and you can walk that up to a lookout that is going to allow you to overlook the sand dunes. This is a great location because you can see the dunes in the distance, the area where they will go out and sand surf, so you can see where people will walk out this little path. They'll go up to this large dune and then they can sand surf down this. I'm going to pull out a little bit more again so that you can see. As you come past this visitors area or day use area, it's going to take you a little bit more east down this pathway. As you come in, those of you with motorhomes or trailers, there's a little turnoff here where you can dump the gray water out of your motorhome or fifth wheel or toy hauler, whatever it is that you're using. They also have fresh water at the sites where you can pick up that use there. Over here to the west a little bit more are large dumpsters. Remember, anytime you are using a state park or going anywhere outside of where you live, you want to make sure that you leave the area as you found it. So you are required to pack out any trash that you have. So we'll typically have a waste bin that we take in, we put a large black trash bag on it, and then honestly we're making multiple trips down to this dumpster while we are there just to keep our site clean and make sure we don't leave anything behind. Right south of this is where you're going to enter the sand dunes. So it's hard to see here, but there is kind of a little fence that breaks this up. So when you enter the sand dunes, say you're coming from this campsite, and you'll notice like a little cattle guard right here so that cattle can't get across that. But as you enter in, this is where you're going to head to the sand dunes. That's the entrance. And then as you exit the sand dunes, you'll be coming out on the other side to get back to the campsites. Right before this, they will have some rules posted of what you can expect out on the sand dunes. If we come a little bit further in here, and I'm going to pull out just so you can see the campsite's whole circle here. This has about 22 campsites, I believe, in this section. So you'll notice as you come in, it is going to be one direction. So you're going to turn right as you come into the campsite, and then you'll follow that circle around and down and out. There will be signs posted right at the front to tell you when quiet hours are. It is still campgrounds, even though it is designed around those off-road vehicles or those recreational vehicles, there still will be quiet hours. So there's a time when they expect generators off in the evening, and then when you can start up your bikes and side-by-sides in the morning. So they will have all of that posted there. Now, a couple things I wanted to point out about the campsites are there is a group site up in here, and this is really pretty nice. This will have electrical hookups. It does allow you to pull in multiple vehicles and multiple trailers. There is a huge pavilion with a barbecue stubbed in. You will have to bring in your own propane should you plan on using that versus the coal barbecue, but it really is just a nice setup and can fit multiple vehicles and trailers, and just a great hangout for a large group. There are also a couple of double sites. So for example, you'll notice this site is a little bit longer. This is site 2 and 3. So when you're coming around this, you're going to start at site 1 on the left, then it hits 2 and 3, and then 4, and it circles around until you get over to the last site here. I believe that's 22. Pretty sure. Now, what's great about these campgrounds is there is a lot of trees and foliage in this first campsite. And this is why I love this campsite over here, is because you actually are surrounded by the juniper trees. They offer a nice shade and some seclusion to the other campgrounds. So that's one of my favorite things about this area over here. They have made these sites really nice in that they will put a concrete pad that does have a picnic table on it, as well as a coal burning barbecue. And then they have created a nice fire pit area as well. The campsites are paved with asphalt, as you can see here, so that's another great feature of this area. And then the restrooms and showers are really pretty great here. Again, you are getting full stalls. You have a men's and women's, and then along the back side here, they have about 5 walk-in showers with hot water. So we can walk over there, you can have your own shower stall that you can lock and really get a nice shower, which you are going to want after being in the sand dunes all day, I promise you. Another thing to note about this campground is there is also a camp host site right here. If there is not a camp host staying in there, you can actually rent this out, and this one will also have electrical hookups if you are coming in with your trailer or motorhome. Everywhere else on this site, you are going to have to use your generator. But this is really just a great location, and this is typically the site that my family will stay on. All right, so if we take it back to the other site, and this is the newer part of Coral Pink, where they have set up more campsites because people really do love the area. And I'll zoom out just a little bit more here so you can see its shape. You can see as you come into this one, it really, since it is newer and they've graded everything here, the juniper trees have not grown back up, and so it's really more open. You can see the other campsites as you are in here. However, they have really designed this one nice, learning from the other. Each site actually does have hookups over here. Most of the sites at this one, if not all of them, have electrical hookups for your trailers. They also have a shade pavilion. Again, they're going to have that concrete pad with a picnic table and a fire pit, so that part of it is great. With the exception of not having the juniper trees around it, creating that natural shade and making it more secluded from other campgrounds, this really is a great site. You can see in the design, they've made it so that you can pull in and then you can pull out and you can continue on. Again, over here, they will have your public restroom. So really nice facilities, showers, and then they also have a dumping station over here that you can hit with your trailer. And this one also has a group site where you can see multiple vehicles in there already. Again, with the pavilion, it really is a great place to pull in. The great thing about this group site is it is a little bit more gravel, so you aren't having to go through the sand to get from your vehicle over to where your trailer is. So that part is nice. It's also a little bit more flat. So if you want to pull out games like cornhole or spike ball or whatever it is, then you can have a little bit more area to do that over here. So just some of the pros and cons of staying in the second campsite. Now there is a great site if you want to dive in a little bit deeper to prices, book your reservations. You can see right now in 2023, if you are going in for day use, it's about $10 a vehicle, $5 for Utah seniors 65 and older. And then the campgrounds with no hookups, so sites 1 through 22, that's going to be that first campground that has a little bit more mature landscaping with it, is going to be $25 per a single site, $50 for a double site. Now again, those have no hookups. For the new campground, because those have water and electric hookups, you're looking at $40 per site in there. So that's going to be sites 23 through 34. Now for the group site at the older campground, this is going to be group site 1. This is $150 per night for up to 5 camp units. Remember, this one does have hookups, so it is going to be a little bit more expensive. The group campsite or group site 2 at the new facility or the new campgrounds is going to be $175 per night, again for up to 5 camp units, just to give you an idea of what that pricing is like. Now on this website, you can go in and book your sites, but one thing that I wanted to note is you can only book up to 4 months out. So let's say I have a trip planned for May, I'm going to have to wait until January to book those dates. Now that's not to say that you can't book the day before, because there might be something available, but definitely go in and check. The site is really pretty user-friendly. You can see as I scroll down, there is a map here that shows you which site you are looking at, and then you can come down, see what they offer. So for example, 40 pull through, that's how much space this specific campsite has. So this is a double here, site 15, 16, and gives you kind of an idea of the length of the site, which is great because some trailers are longer than others. If you're coming in just one of those van campers, I don't even know what they're called, you're not going to need that. It will also give you a date range of availability. So you can see this is just for the next week here, and there are sites available, there are sites reserved. So you don't always have to book out in advance. Now my family, because when we go, we're actually booking up this whole campground because there is a lot of us. And so we are getting on as soon as we can possibly get on to book out for those dates that we know we want to go so that we can get most of it. Now within here, there are also non-reservable sites. So there are a couple that we have to wait until the last minute to see if we can get those. So if you are driving through and you did forget to book, it's worth going in and checking to see if something is available. Now in the ranger station, right where you check in, you can actually go in and rent some sandboards or sand sleds to go down that big dune. Now I don't think it's that bad as far as the rentals go. It is $25 per board, and that just has to be returned 30 minutes before the visitor center closes. So you can have that for quite a long time if you start at the beginning of the day. Again, they do offer those ATV tours, and then there is also an always adventure rappelling tours that are 1.5 to 2 hour long. So definitely something worth checking out on this website as well. You can enjoy the experiences of coral pink sand dunes without actually staying at one of these campgrounds. There is a meadow where people will pull off the side and they will actually stay in the meadow. You don't need to reserve the campsite, and you can actually enter the dunes from this meadow. So you are able to still experience it without paying for the campgrounds or the day use here. I personally like going there because I do have the facilities available to me. It's easy access to the dune, and I'm not in the sand the whole time. I can have the asphalt. We actually use this loop with young kids, and they will ride bicycles all day long around this. We have our young moms that bring their babies and they'll push strollers around this loop and just visit the whole time they're out there. And this last year, we even set up a pickleball net in front of the bathrooms and enjoyed those type of amenities. So it can be used in many different ways. That's why I prefer to stay at the campsites. Now, as I've noticed over the years, and more people are walking out to this high dune, you can see their little footprints in the sand. You can see them using these board rentals to go down these dunes. we are getting more people out on the dunes walking. If you are out there walking, I just want to caution you to be aware of your surroundings. As somebody that rides four-wheelers or off-road vehicles, I get a little bit nervous when I do see people out there and they're not used to the off-road vehicles. They don't realize how dangerous it can be. So for example, if I'm coming up over a dune and you are just over the other side where these off-road vehicles typically ride, there is a chance that you can get hit. And I hate to be so gruesome and say it that way, but stay in the area that they have designed for you to stay, because it can get dangerous. I know when I'm out there riding to look around, pay attention to other riders, look for flags so that I know when somebody's coming up over the hill. But when I have had to get off my bike and I am just over a hill, I get a little bit anxious and nervous and try to get out of that way just in case somebody comes up and over. So that's something that I did want to point out, is it can be very dangerous out here. There have been accidents out there, so be cautious when you go out. Make sure you're paying attention to your surroundings. You are reading the rules and regulations when you come out here so that you can stay safe with your family. Now, of course, if you are somebody that rides off-road vehicles and you're out on these dunes, just know you are going to find people walking out there. So be very, very cautious by the lookout, the path that goes from the lookout to this larger dune, so that you can ensure everyone is safe as well. Now, I have been to Coral Pink when there has been snow. I have been there in the summer when it has been warm. I typically like to go in April and October because that is when I love the weather the best, but I haven't gone a time when I don't love it. It is absolutely beautiful. It is so close to Cedar City and St. George. It really is a paradise in southern Utah, according to me. And it's one of the reasons that I choose to live here, because I have this playground in my backyard. All right. Of course, you can tell my passion for Coral Pink as I'm talking about this. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, go ahead and like it. That helps me out. And once again, if you are looking to buy, sell, or invest here in southern Utah, my name is Elizabeth Prisbrey. I would love it if you would reach out. I promise you I will respond. All right, until next time, have a wonderful day.